efforts to bring the Ukraine conflict closer to an end are facing serious challenges, as talks between Washington and Kiev reveal growing disagreements behind closed doors. At the same time, new polling data shows that public confidence in NATO and the United States among Ukrainians is sharply declining, highlighting a widening gap between diplomatic negotiations and public sentiment on the ground. Together, these developments paint a clearer picture of the political pressure surrounding Ukraine's future and the difficult road ahead for any peace settlement. According to recent reporting, negotiations between US and Ukrainian officials aimed at outlining a peace framework have become increasingly tense. Sources familiar with the discussions describe the meetings as difficult, with both sides pulling in different directions. The talks reportedly took place in Berlin, where American representatives pushed for faster decisions. The goal, according to officials cited by the media, is to bring the conflict to a conclusion before the end of the year. However, Ukrainian officials appear reluctant to accept several key elements of the proposed roadmap. At the center of the disagreement is the issue of territory. US negotiators are said to have encouraged Ukraine to consider withdrawing forces from areas of eastern Ukraine that Russia claims as its own. These areas, part of the Donbas region, were incorporated into Russia following referendums held in 2022, votes that Ukraine and its allies do not recognize. Ukrainian leadership, however, has firmly rejected the idea of territorial concessions. President Vladimir Zelensky has repeatedly stated that giving up land is not an option, emphasizing that Ukraine's sovereignty is not negotiable. Despite this public stance, Zelensky has recently acknowledged that any major territorial decision could ultimately be put to a national referendum, suggesting that public opinion may eventually play a role in shaping Ukraine's position. As part of the discussions, the United States has signaled openness to offering Ukraine long-term security assurances. These guarantees would reportedly resemble NATO's collective defense principle, which treats an attack on one member as an attack on all. However, American officials stress that such guarantees would only come into effect if a peace agreement is reached under acceptable conditions. The US has also made clear that Ukraine will not be granted NATO membership as part of the deal, nor will American troops be deployed on Ukrainian soil. From Moscow's perspective, Russian officials